If you're still going after the handsome guys, stop. Stop. Especially the handsome guys who know that they're handsome, they have a complex. I'm not kidding. I promise you they do. And God forbid, they're even better looking than you girls. Also, what's looks gonna do for him? Like, unless...
This man says he'd rather have food delivered just to avoid the desperate post-war women hunting in grocery stores. And honestly, that says a lot about where we are right now. Because think about it. Grocery shopping used to be one of the most normal, everyday tasks. But today, it's practically become a social battleground. You've got women in their late 30s and 40s, all dressed up just to run a few errands, hoping to lock eyes with a man pushing a cart of fresh produce. It's not just about food anymore. It's about opportunity. Hook plus eat. Hey, you ever notice how the grocery store has turned into the new dating app? Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. See? After years of chasing freedom and fun, reality eventually kicks in. The dating pool shrinks, options dry up, and suddenly, those same women who said they don't need a man are scouting the frozen aisle for one. The same men they once ignored are now seen as good candidates. Stable, reliable, safe. Translation: stepdad material. So when this guy jokes about avoiding grocery stores, he's really speaking to a deeper truth. Modern men are tired of being targets. They're not interested in becoming emotional rehab projects for people who made every bad choice in their prime years. It's not bitterness, it's boundaries. And boundaries are the new masculinity.
Saw the hottest man at Whole Foods. I was leaving Whole Foods. He was coming in. And he was tall. He had dark hair. He was wearing a Henley. Sluttiest shirt a man could be wearing. Ugh, I love it. Best shirt. So, you know, to let him know, hey, I think you're a babe, I walked by him like this. That works.
I just saw the hottest man I think I've ever seen in my entire life running at 7:30 p.m. on the Strand in Manhattan Beach, and it's a good fucking thing. I didn't say anything to him because I think I would have had to cover my eyes if I had to talk to him. To be honest, I don't even think I would date this man because he was so good looking that it would be a liability. Like, who wouldn't be after? I don't want to deal with that. But there's no way he wasn't famous for looking like that. So I'm gonna describe him to you. TikTok, if you want to do your thing. Perfect body, tan, blue eyes, dark brown. Longish, not long hair. He had a mustache, but not in a porn stash way, in the like ugly hot way, but not ugly at all. So, anyways, if anyone knows social media, he's got to be like a fitness something, athlete something. No one has single digit body fat like that for no reason. Help! I'm like giggling talking about it. Just gonna go back to singing I Can't Relate. Like
now imagine if the roles were reversed. If a man posted a video saying, I just saw this woman jogging, she's the hottest thing I've ever seen, I'm gonna stalk her, find out who she is, maybe even follow her around, the internet would explode. There'd be outrage, think pieces, hashtags, and boycotts. That man would be labeled a creep, a danger, a walking red flag. His face would be everywhere, his career over, his reputation gone. But when a woman does something similar, suddenly it's cute, romantic, or just a joke. She's manifesting her dream man, and everyone laughs it off like it's harmless. That right there is the double standard nobody wants to talk about. When men cross boundaries, it's predatory. When women do it, it's playful. But the principle is the same. Obsession is obsession. No matter who's doing it, what we're seeing is society constantly moving the goalposts. Accountability changes depending on gender. And men are noticing that. They're starting to ask, why is basic decency expected only from one side? It's not about hating women. It's about calling out the hypocrisy. Because if equality truly mattered, then double standards wouldn't exist.
To Whole Foods to get some dinner, and maybe I will meet the man of my dreams.
This is the place you need to be frequenting to find husband material.
I always say
I'm going to meet my husband at the Whole Foods Olive Bar because that's such a green flag. Like, he knows like fancy little hors d'oeuvres snack.
Woman looking. Listen to this line. Woman looking for a human ATM to steal half of his money in the coming years. Then the wish list 6-figure income, 6 feet tall, 6-pack, and the magical ability to read women's minds in Whole Foods. Let's unpack the circus here. First, human ATM. That's not even subtle. It's an admission. This isn't dating, it's a transaction. Romance reduced to a balance sheet. Love, commitment, and compatibility. Optional. As long as the ledger looks healthy, move to checkout. Then the conveyor belt checklist. 6-figure job. Height requirement. Abs, telepathy at the salad bar. Who are we auditioning here? James Bond or a walking billboard for unrealistic expectations? This is peak hypergamy, dressed up as ambition. Want comfort and status. Fine, but demanding a CEO of a salary, trophy measurements, and emotional clairvoyance before you'll even say hello? That's entitlement, not standards. Women openly advertise for a provider with a side of life insurance. It's framed as empowerment. That selective framing, it fuels resentment. It tells men, be everything but only in the exact box we pick. No wonder some guys opt out. Why sign up for drama and demands when you're treated like a multi-feature vending machine? Also, the idea that someone should be able to read women's minds at Whole Foods is hilarious and terrifying at once. It exposes a deeper expectation. Emotional labor should be performed flawlessly, instantly, and for free. Men are expected to decode, hints, anticipate needs, and still be grateful for the chance to provide. Where is the reciprocity? Look, relationships don't start with contracts and demands. They start with mutual interest, respect, and effort. If you begin with a shopping list of requirements and a financial extraction plan, congratulations. You've turned human connection into a hostile takeover. That's not attraction. That's calculation. So what's the takeaway? If you want a partner, show how you'll be a partner. If you want security, be open to earning it together. And if you're listing requirements like you're ordering a made-to-measure spouse, don't be surprised when men swipe left or, even worse, walk away entirely. Ready for the next excerpt. Boss.
I think I cracked the code on where to find really hot guys. Whole Foods. They were everywhere.
So I just went to Whole Foods. Mind you, I live in Tribeca, where there's a lot of hot men.
Today, we are going to IKEA. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
Strange, isn't it? Women can say they're too nervous to approach a man, and everyone nods in understanding. Ah, she's shy, they say. But when a man admits the same thing, suddenly he's weak. He's not confident enough. He gets clowned, rejected, or told to man up. That right there is another unspoken double standard society refuses to confront. Because apparently vulnerability only looks attractive when it's feminine. When a woman hesitates, it's adorable. When a man does, it's unattractive. But let's be real. It takes courage for anyone to approach someone they're interested in. Rejection doesn't sting less because of your gender. The difference is, men have been told since childhood that their value is tied to confidence, dominance, and action. If they show hesitation, they're not just rejected, they're disrespected. While women are allowed to be passive spectators, emotional risk should go both ways, not just when it's convenient. Because in the end, connection isn't built on fear or gender roles. It's built on mutual effort. And if only one side is expected to act while the other gets to judge, that's not equality. That's entitlement in disguise.
It's a place to meet people. I go every single day looking like this. And I must say, the men, I'm attracted to men, are very good looking. And Whole Foods, it kind of has me thinking I should not go in sweats.
Thirsty much?
This is literally the most beautiful man I've ever seen. I'm probably not going to talk to him because I'm a nervous wreck, but, oh, Lord.
And here's where it gets even funnier. These women aren't actually approaching men. They're not walking up and starting real conversations. No, they're just orbiting, wandering the aisles, pretending to need directions, hoping a man will magically pick up on invisible signals and make the first move. It's like they're playing a silent game of emotional hide-and-seek, and then blaming men for not finding them. But here's the thing. Men can't read minds. They don't come with built-in radar for subtle hints or energy shifts. You can't expect him to decode a half smile by the fruit section and interpret that as please approach me. I'm single and emotionally available. This is where the dating confusion gets ridiculous. Women say, I want men to be confident and make the first move, but then they plant themselves in situations that depend on men guessing their interests. That's not empowerment. That's passivity disguised as mystery. The irony, modern women talk endlessly about communication, boundaries, and emotional intelligence. Yet when it comes to attraction, it's all about playing games and reading vibes. How does that make sense? Let's be real. Most men today are walking on eggshells. They've seen what happens when a guy approaches a woman who isn't interested. One wrong move, one misunderstood gesture, and is labeled creepy or disrespectful. So can you blame men for staying silent? You can't have it both ways, demanding confidence from men while refusing to offer clarity from women. Attraction isn't telepathy. It's communication. If you want a man to notice you, say something. Smile. Compliment him. Start a conversation. You don't lose femininity by being direct. You gain respect. Because right now, too many are playing games in grocery aisles, hoping for connection but doing nothing to create it. And then they wonder why nobody's approaching anymore.
Ever. I ain't never seen a fine single man at Publix. Ever. The boys be Instacarting. They don't be at the grocery store.
A conversation so many women aren't ready to have. Without blaming men, why can't you keep it?
The blame game? That one's universal. You can travel to any corner of the world, any culture, any generation, and somehow it always circles back to the same script. It's men's fault. If she's single, men are trash. If she's unhappy, men are emotionally unavailable. If she's broke, men aren't providing enough. If she's lonely, men are intimidated by strong women. It's like no matter what happens, there's a ready-made excuse that removes personal accountability. And that's not empowerment, that's emotional outsourcing. Now, let's be honest, both genders have their flaws, but modern culture has normalized female victimhood to the point where reflection gets replaced by projection. You can't fix what you refuse to take responsibility for. And when accountability disappears, delusion takes its place. This is why so many men are quietly opting out. They've realized no matter what they do, provide, protect, stay loyal, stay patient, they'll still be labeled a problem. And that constant blame cycle becomes exhausting. Here's the truth. Growth doesn't come from blaming the opposite gender. It comes from asking, what am I contributing to the pattern? Because if every story ends with men are the issue, maybe the real issue is the inability to default text.
There. That's the guy I was telling you
That's
about.
him?
Yeah.
Go shoot your shot. Or he's right there.
Okay.
I think you should.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
The socks.
I did
You
it.
did
I
it? You did
I
it?
made it so
Did
obvious.
you? He saw?
He saw.
Okay, as long as he saw.
So obvious.
Okay, good.
How?
Just walked to Whole Foods, did some grocery shopping, and like obviously living in New York, you want to like romanticize every second of your life. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I met my husband over in Whole Foods over rosé and like fucking asparagus,
You need help.
a la Cody Co. But then I realized I am wearing this, a turtleneck, oversized, and gray sweatpants, and I don't look cute. But my hair looks good actually, so that's all that matters.
What is the best age to start finding a husband? When you're tired of working. Some are tired of working faster than others. Were you tired of dating and working and paying your own bills? That's me, okay? Some ladies it's younger, some ladies it's older. Whenever you're tired of working and paying your own bills, that's when you need to start getting serious about marriage and finding a good husband.
And this line right here sums up modern dating perfectly. The goal is to get Ryan Gosling. The hope is to do absolutely nothing to make it happen. That's the delusion era in one sentence. Everyone wants top-tier results, luxury lifestyles, perfect partners, fairy tale love, but no one wants to earn it. It's entitlement disguised as self-worth. See, a lot of women have been sold this idea that simply existing as a woman should be enough. No effort, no accountability, no personal growth. Just show up, and Prince Charming will appear. But reality doesn't work like that. Ryan Gosling didn't become Ryan Gosling by wishing it. He worked years of discipline, training, rejection, and improvement. Yet somehow, many expect the rewards of excellence without ever developing excellence themselves. It's a symptom of the soft life fantasy, where comfort replaces character, where effort is considered pick me behavior, and where I deserve becomes the loudest mantra, even when there's nothing to back it up. Let's flip it. Imagine if men said, I want Margot Robbie, but I'm not hitting the gym, not working on my mindset, not improving my career. I'm just gonna wait until she finds me. Everyone would laugh, but when women do it, it's called manifestation. Here's the hard truth. Attraction is not charity. High-value people attract each other through effort, not entitlement. Want a partner who's emotionally intelligent, ambitious, and in shape? You better mirror that energy, because nobody wants to sign up for someone who demands luxury but offers mediocrity. The dream of getting Ryan Gosling isn't the problem. The refusal to become the kind of woman he'd choose is...
Ladies, let's talk today about meeting men at Home Depot, because this seems to be a popular subject on TikTok, and I thought it could use a little matchmaker expertise here. All right, let's do this. First thing I want you to keep in mind is when you go to a Home Depot, or I'm going to throw in Lowe's, I'm going to throw in Target, I'm going to throw in high-end grocery stores. These are all great places to do some man hunting. When you go, make sure you're going on the weekend, not during the week, because we would hope he'd be working a job somewhere, hopefully a good job somewhere, and he wouldn't have the time to be roaming around Home Depot, okay? That's number one. Number two, what I'm going to say here is no surprise, but make sure if you're going to go to any of these places, the Home Depot, the Lowe's, the Target, the grocery store, that you go to a high-end area of town. Why would you want to go to a low-end Home Depot to meet low-end men when you could go to a high-end part of town, a Beverly Hills location, the high-end area, and wherever you live, as opposed to the worst location possible for a Home Depot, right? So go out of your area. Go out of your area for better grocery stores, for a better Target, for a better Lowe's, for a better Home Depot, because you're going to meet better men there.
If a woman at Home Depot tapped a man on the shoulder and asked a question, he says he'd immediately scan for cameras, friends with phones, cops, or security, convinced it's a setup. That first thought, it's a trap. And you know what? That instinct didn't appear out of nowhere. Men have seen the viral clips. A casual approach turns into a staged harassment moment, monetized outrage, or a clip that ruins a reputation overnight. So now the default reaction is self-preservation. Why risk a conversation when one mistake can be amplified into a career-ending scandal? Think about the psychology here. It's not paranoia, it's rational risk assessment. Social media has rewritten the cost-benefit of approaching someone. Before, the downside of being politely rebuffed was embarrassment for 5 minutes. Now, the downside can be public shaming, doxing, and legal hassle. So men adapt. They shrink the pool of behavior that could be weaponized against them. This dynamic creates a terrible feedback loop. Women want men to be brave and initiate, but the social climate punishes men for doing exactly that. Men withdraw. Women wonder why no one approaches. The consequence: two populations talking past one another, both feeling victimized by the new rules they didn't write. Here's the blunt takeaway. If we want real social repair, we have to restore safe, low-stakes human interaction. That means discouraging performative recordings, discouraging instant viral shaming as a reflex, and bringing back ordinary courtesy without legal theater. Otherwise, we'll keep teaching men to treat simple questions like minefields and blame culture, we'll have turned basic decency into a luxury no one can afford. Ready for the next excerpt? Boss.
Something else I want to remind you of, if you see these guys, especially on the weekends at Target or grocery shopping, more likely that they are single if they're there on the weekends and by themselves. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to Home Depot or Lowe's, you're never going to know because that's usually a place where most men are by themselves. All right. So what are you going to do if you see like this super cute guy in front of you in line or next to you, or he's coming towards you? You got to do something. You're there. You got to seize the opportunity. Okay. So WWGD, what would Gina do? Here's what I'm going to tell you Gina would do. Now, Gina would do, because I operate on no fear, right? This is, you live one time, you got to make it count, and you're there. I would tap, tap, tap that guy on the shoulder if he was in front of me in line, and he's going to look around. He's going to say, what does this old lady want? But let's pretend that's not the case. I would say, hey, you know what? I see that you got that, Sherwin-Williams paint. I was looking, but I couldn't find it. Where did you find that? Make something up. Anything, it doesn't matter what you say. Ask for his help with something. Ask if he knows where something is. You got to open the door. If you want to go to these places and meet men in real life, a lot of times the very best men are not the ones that are going to approach you. The ones that approach you are usually the D-bags that approach every single woman. And that's not the guy you want. You want the guy that might think you're cool but might be more respectful and not approach you. So you've got to do something. You've got to seize the moment. You've got to strike up a conversation. Okay?